For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Former President Donald Trump made an appearance at the UFC 295 event held in Madison Square Garden this past Saturday and was met with middle fingers thrown up by comedian Bill Burr's wife, Nia Hill. Trump reportedly arrived at the fight with Tucker Carlson, Kid Rock, Donald Trump Jr., among several others, and the crowd was over 20,000 people that saw what took place on the Jumbotron, and the video was seen and shared online by even more. One Twitter user identified as DJ McCauley responded to the viral clip of Hill sticking her middle finger up. The user originally said, "I overheard their conversation in the hotel lobby after the fights were over. Bill wasn't too happy." Now that portion of the tweet was deleted. What remains on his Twitter account follows. "Hey Nia, you remember that little salute you gave Trump back at the UFC event? Yeah, that one finger wave? Oh man, you should have seen your face. It was like, take that, Mr. President. I swear I nearly choked on my beer. But hey, let's talk about the aftermath here. I'm doing the math in my head, right? And I'm thinking, well, there goes half of our income. Poof. Just like that. It's like you flipped off our bank account along with Trump. I mean, come on, Nia, I'm a comedian, not a magician. I can't just pull dollar bills out of a hat, especially now that you've turned us into public enemy number one. And now every time I bomb on stage, I've got the perfect excuse. Sorry, folks, my material was way funnier before my wife decided to start a one-woman protest at the UFC. It's like, congratulations, Nia. We're now officially the Bonnie and Clyde of comedy, robbing ourselves with every joke. But you know, in a weird way, it's kind of hilarious. I mean, who else can say their wife gave the president the bird and take their income in one fell swoop? Only in America, right? Anyway, next time, maybe just stick to shouting at the TV, huh? It's safer for our bank account. Now, we can't confirm how valid his statement was, but another user defending her action said, that would be Nia, the wife of comedian Bill Burr, saluting Trump during UFC 295. In anticipation of the F your feelings crowd attacking her for being disrespectful, let me remind you, Trump's entire platform is built on attacking and disrespecting anyone going against him. I stand with Nia. In addition to these Twitter users, several others would insinuate that Burr would lose money and his career would take a step back because of this move. Now, it's no surprise that Burr's fan base is filled with mostly white men. We don't have the exact demographics of how many conservatives are fans of Burr's comedy, but we can assume that because Burr often plays devil's advocate, he has fans on both sides of the political spectrum. Some other tweets commenting on the viral video read, got a new line for your next gig. I married a Hoodrat and she gave a former president the finger. She's like school in summer, no class. Another user would say, control your rude wife. Thanks. So after hearing all the backlash, Hill would subliminally respond on her social media with a few clips of her own. In one post, Hill would share a clip of the film Casino where Sharon Stone's character threw a bunch of poker chips away, which could possibly be a reference to users saying she's throwing Burr's career away with her action. In another post, as a response, Hill would simply say, thanks for the love, everyone. Joining me in on this conversation is our very own Mr. John Abba.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I want to dive straight into this one. Let's dive in. But I want to start with just the backlash. So here you have people saying that Nia has no class and just, calling it BS and like all the comments you heard me say. Hearing that, what's your reaction to the backlash we're seeing her get?
So let's look at the definition of class, right? So no class, according to this, having class is having good manners, politeness, pride without showboating, empathy, humility, and abundance of self-control. That sounds nothing like MAGA supporters at all. Sounds nothing like y'all.
Yeah. And
that's a little strong to say, but I definitely feel that way in regards of every time I see them make noise, it doesn't seem to be polite. It doesn't seem to be doesn't have no showboating. It seems all of the other side of it. So to see kind of people mad at Nia expressing the same type of energy does seem hypocritical, on my part.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more because for me it was not having class and then like you said, just thinking about the actions when we think about what took place at the Capitol and just different things that come out. It's like, what do you mean she has no class coming from you? But of course they're also saying he's going to get canceled. So, looking at it, what do you think? Do you think Bill Burr is going to get canceled or, what are your thoughts surrounding that? Because a lot of people are saying, she's going to make him lose money. She's going to make him lose things. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I want to kind of continue this no class thing, because that was, to me, disrespectful. To call this man's wife a hood rat, a wife of 10 years. Somebody with no class says that type of thing.
Yeah.
You have to be very clear on that. Whoever said that, you have no class, sir. There's no type of class that's attached to that. Even coming down to, we look at the president, former President Trump has a mugshot out. People that have class typically don't have mugshots out. You know what I'm saying? If we want to talk about facts. And it's not to knock anybody that does. There's some people that have different, reasons why. But for the most part, thugs and criminals have mugshots, right? So let's be clear that you guys are not in any moral position to talk about who has class and who does not have class. When I keep laying up these different facts and reasons. Let's continue this. I think overall it's kind of crazy to me that at times these people can kind of like point the finger, but also not see that they're part of the problem as well.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be fair. Like, I'm about fairness. I don't care about what side you're on. And to say that someone has no class, but then you also display having no class too, is crazy to me.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think he's going to get canceled? Because again, and for me, I guess I'll give my thought on it just a little bit. Also the hypocritical part is like to say like, because I saw some comments saying like, oh, I'm like, they're just so surprised that his wife would do something like this. But we've heard Bill Burr kind of give his thoughts on Trump before. So it just makes me wonder, like, are these his real fans? But do you think he's going to get canceled from this?
It's interesting, I will say, only because we need to maybe have the data of how many people that are like MAGA supporters
right, conservative,
are Bill's fans, right? We're assuming that a large portion of them are. And I think it kind of reminded me of Chrisette Michele when she ironically would go and perform at the inauguration of Donald Trump. And that seemed like a moment where someone's career took a big hit because it offended her base. So if the base is offended for Bill Burr, I do think it will not cancel him, but it will probably really hurt, some aspect of it. But I really think in looking at the video, if you really look at it, I don't think it was like Nia necessarily just like F you Donald Trump. I don't think it was that type of energy. I think it was stuff that we all do, kind of being fun, a little immature. When we're on the Jumbotron, we make a face, we want to do something kind of like exciting. And I think it was more so that than like her trying to be like, there's Donald Trump, let me disrespect him. So I think that we have to kind of also, not always see things how we want to see it, but look at the facts. I don't think that she was necessarily aiming for Trump. If she did, she should just pointed directly at him and not on screen. Like if she was really about that type of life.
I'm definitely not standing behind and like championing like, hey, when you're on the Jumbotron, put up your middle fingers. But to me, whether she was doing it to him or not, it's just the fact that like this backlash of like, oh, we want to ruin your career, because even if his base isn't mostly Donald Trump supporters or conservatives, it's the fact that you're putting out a headline, you're putting out the energy, and now people are gonna, because you know how it works.
Yeah, people pick and choose what they want to be mad at. Even when it comes to us as black folks, we pick and choose what we want to be mad at. And clearly when it comes to MAGA people, you pick and choose what you want to be mad at. Like, big damn deal. Okay, she flipped the middle finger off at a UFC fight. Get over it. You want to be offended so bad. Get over it. Get over yourselves. I think that you guys need to continue to focus on whatever agenda that Trump currently has. Clearly, he has a strategy by going to the UFC fights anyway.
Right.
That to me is, I will kind of give him credit of at least trying to tap into different markets that his adversaries aren't tapping into. I haven't seen a president go to the UFC fight, so that's pretty like, smart on his part or his team's part to think about that, because Biden, I don't see Biden at a UFC fight.
No, Biden is.
But I do think that, Trump going there shows a little bit of the edge that I think his demographic typically has.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, if you're Bill Burr in this situation, because right now it's just headlines. He hasn't directly responded to this. We've seen his wife kind of subliminally respond. But if you're him, are you concerned? What's your next move if you're in Bill Burr's situation? How do you respond?
I'm writing a dope ass joke about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna maybe do a special about it. My black wife. Why not? Why not address the elephant in the room? Nothing that will go at my wife, but just more so just kind of use it for some marketing.
Yeah.
But I would make a joke about it. I would make a joke about it. I would definitely do what my job is as a comedian, which is to highlight parts of my life, parts of the society that we live in, that's what I would do. Turn it into a moment. People will laugh about it. The MAGA people will laugh about it, and move on to the next thing that they want to be upset for that day.
Yeah. Yeah, because harping on things, it seems to only make it worse. So, yeah, I definitely look forward to see what creative joke can come from this.
I hope he does, you know.
It's a moment.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting because people were calling him a simp for not being, like, I guess, not having his wife in control. When you look at kind of the ideal of marriage, do you think it's kind of like we move as a unit, or we're kind of more so our own individuals that decided to, you know, elope together?
I mean, I think eventually when you become married, you are one, you are a unit, but the whole thought process of like, oh, have your partner under control, or a man having a woman, like, to me, that's not a thing for me. There are still some people that operate under that, but I would not be able to. That's not what a unit means to me. It's not you having me in check or putting a muzzle on me like I'm your pet.
Yeah.
I'm your wife, not your pet.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, you know, they're calling Burr a simp right now.
Baby, I like Simps. What are Simps? I'm looking for the Simps. I mean, at this point, like, I'm this whole, like, because even I know this isn't Bill Burr, like, white, but even when we talk about, like, Russell Wilson, right? That's who's married.
Yeah.
Baby,
great example.
As a woman, like, women that want a long, because there are some women that don't like that type of men. But baby, what are Simps? I'm at this point, put them on display. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a man caring for his wife. I mean, but I think that goes into what the definition of manhood means to some people. Because I even saw comments about, oh, his manhood, and she's ruining his manhood and things like that. We've allowed society to define what a man is for so long that some men haven't even found their own definition of what it means to be a man. So this whole definition of a simp and all. A simp to me is these people that are, oh, have your woman under control and put a muzzle on her. Like, there needs to be something for y'all. Like, something's wrong with y'all. There's nothing wrong with a man being in tune with, hey, I want to take care of my wife. I want to love on my wife. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable with my wife. Like, if you can't be vulnerable with your wife, then who else? Y'all.
Yeah, I think that you know, when you get in these relationships, I do think that we want to have individual people. We want to be with someone that kind of has their own voice. I would assume that, right?
Right.
Or you just want to have somebody you run around, and some people go for that too. They'll just get, you know, I would say, what do you call it? A trophy wife.
Right.
Someone that she just looks good. She just shows up. Or even for men, I'm sure there's a version of that too. You know, so I think we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we want as individuals? What works for us? And clearly, it seems to work for Bill and his wife.
Correct.
They've been married for, I think, a little over 10 years, maybe just approaching 10-year mark. And I mean, he knows who she is. They have 2 kids together. Like, he probably wasn't surprised. I think he went on and moved on and kind of carried on his night, you know, and then even looking at her Instagram, she continued to kind of make posts like this was no big deal to them and their family. So I think we have to kind of sometimes check ourselves about that, how we project things. Even like Russell Wilson, they was giving him a hard time with Sierra. It's like, you don't think he kind of knew that going out that this is what she was going to do?
Right.
Same thing when it came down to, I guess even Keke Palmer and her guy, Darius, that kind of touched the same thing, which is like, you know, are we supposed to be in control of our women? Like, and they can't be their own people? Or is it more so men were offended the fact that I guess she did something that might have made him look bad and that they didn't, maybe she didn't kind of run it past them or something. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you guys are mad about.
Good luck. Let us know in the comments. What is it to be that mad about? And again, I'm not championing behind like sticking middle fingers up at a Jumbotron. That's not the conversation. I'm talking about like the backlash that's coming with it. Like, oh, you're like,
I just don't get it.
I don't know.
I just don't get it when it comes to the MAGAs.
They want a muzzle.
Like, y'all want to be badass, but then when other people display badassness, it's an issue. Kid Rock was there. That's a, you know, he's badass. Donald Trump has showed you there's ways to be badass in the presidency. UFC, the energy of UFC is fighting and blooding people up is badass. So when I stick the middle finger out, it's an issue.
And you know what? I don't even think it's, and I'll close this out. I don't even think like we don't know, because I feel like we do know. Like, here's Donald Trump, the man that says grab him by the pussy. And then also Donald Trump, which I don't even, around COVID, when he was talking about Kung Flu and like all like.
And can I add one to that?
Yeah.
And then Donald Trump sleeping with Stormy Daniels, allegedly, who is a porn star.
Yeah.
So you guys are not in moral position to talk about who has no class or not.
That's a quote.
But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I think that's the way to end it. It's instead of it saying like I think we do understand.
Yeah.
We understand it. Donald Trump has made it very clear who he is.
Yeah.
And some of his supporters, because it's not all of his supporters, but most of his supporters that are on display and showing up and rioting, they show who they are. Yeah. And it's just about believing who they are. I think that quote is perfect. They don't have the moral, like none at all.
Yeah.
At all to say who has class and who doesn't have class.
I think it's just a level of them not being true to themselves, them not being honest about the situation. Because we just laid up this whole episode of all the reasons why you should never say that people have no class. So shut it up, knock it off. You'll probably tweet us, fine, and then we'll continue to cover up some more great stories on this beautiful platform.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of the platform, I want to close us out on great notes of what we have going on here.
Yes.
One thing, again, it's Monday.
Yeah.
So tonight we have Hype Mic Monday.
We do.
Super excited. I've been to all of them up to this point, and they're just continuing to grow. I love the safe space from comedians, actually hearing feedback from comedians about how it feels good to be able to come here and get new jokes and try things. And there's an audience that's open to receive. Like I love the audience that we have week to week.
Yep.
What are you're excited about? Where it's going?
First Hype Mic, it's always a good time there. The energy's right. We definitely, our doors are welcome for everybody. Even you MAGA supporters, just chill out on the craziness.
Okay.
Just don't bring no crazy, but you can come and laugh.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's cool about our spot and even our platform. Like we're not necessarily just against people for what they believe, but we do not tolerate foolishness. But yeah, Hype Mic, it's a good time, it's a good vibe, and I look forward to it, going to it tonight.
Absolutely. Now, other thing I want to bring up, something else I'm excited about. We're actually opening up auditions for a seat at this table.
Come on, I think that deserves
so
a clap.
that does deserve a clap.
That's pretty big.
It is.
Yeah, I'm excited about that for this show. Just again, audience, after the end of this episode, you will see more details about this, but we're looking for people to join Symphony in the studio. If you are a comedian, if you are someone who is outspoken, if you're someone that is able to see things from a unique perspective, we want you at this table. We want to expand the show. We want to build it. We want more people to talk about it. And we're going to need your help and other people like yourself to sit here and be able to chime in with you each and every day. I think the goal is,
For Comedy Hype News, I'm just kidding. But I do have a special announcement. The Comedy Hype News show is now looking for an analyst to join me right here on the show. That's right, there's an opportunity for your tush to be in one of these seats. But before you get too excited, here are a few requirements. You must be Atlanta-based, over the age of 21, so sorry to all my young babies. And you gotta know how to stand 10 toes down on your opinion. Now, technically we'll be sitting down, but you get my point. 10 toes down, not 9, not 8, but 10. Auditions take place November 30th through December 1st right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So click the link below or go to Hype Plus TV /talent search. Hope to see you in a chair near me. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Absolutely. Now, you must be Atlanta-based, over the age of 21, and I mentioned in the video, stand 10 toes down on what you believe in the things that you think.
We'll be here. Bring yourself, bring your family, bring your friends, and we're looking for, it's a talent search. So we just want to be able to see if we can kind of find some stars within our community that can, again, be able to speak and talk about things. And if you really feel like, you kind of need to be seen more, or that you have something to say, something really to say, I think this platform would be great for you to bring you on.
Before you go, is there anything else that you want to touch on?
So I'm checking back on y'all. I told y'all.
Oh, you did.
I told y'all I was gonna see the vest again.
Oh, yep. I wasn't. I
kept my word.
And
then 2, last time I was here, I told you guys to think about a goal that you're looking to accomplish. So I'm asking you, did you accomplish that goal? Mm. And if you haven't, let's continue the model that we do here at Hype Plus and Comedy Hype, which is to keep going. So we're gonna, for the ones that got to their goal, I'm clapping it up for you. For the ones that didn't, let's try to go ahead and get that goal completed next week. My current goals, I need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I have.
And I gotta catch it before we get into the winter, because in the winter is when I pack on anyway. But
do you have a certain goal, a number?
Yeah, I would probably say like 180 something. Right now, I'm approaching that 2 mark that I've never been before.
So
I don't
about
feel
20 pounds.
I don't feel it, but hopefully, you know, y'all keep holding me accountable, and I'll start kind of getting in a little bit more shape. But yeah, that's the goal, maybe like 185.
My goal is still for that vest to disappear, which I have not did not meet my goal.
I think the vest been looking better the more I kind of like, you know.
Fill out?
Fill out, yeah, add to it.
Okay, so as you lose your weight, we're gonna lose
the vest.
The vest. That's my goal. We're gonna figure it out. But no, I appreciate you for checking in on everybody on those goals. I think that was a great. So I guess we'll check in next time you join.
Week. Come on, y'all. We got
see.
These things. Let's not wait for the year to end to start kind of getting into that mentality. Let's start now. Let's get ahead of everybody else that's sleeping right now, that's chilling, that's doing X, Y, Z. Let's make our tribe right here at Hype the ones that succeed, the ones that excel. And we do that by doing the things that other people won't.
How bad do you want it? That's my question for the rest of the year. But again, thank you so much for joining me in on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts of Bill Burr's wife getting backlash after allegedly flipping off former President Donald Trump? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. How bad do you want it? How bad do you need it? Oh, that's a song. For Comedy Hype News, I'm just kidding. But I do have a special announcement. The Comedy Hype News show is now looking for an analyst to join me right here on the show. That's right, there's an opportunity for your tush to be in one of these seats. But before you get too excited, here are a few requirements. You must be Atlanta-based, over the age of 21, so sorry to all my young babies. And you gotta know how to stand 10 toes down on your opinion. Now, technically we'll be sitting down, but you get my point. 10 toes down, not 9, not 8, but 10. Auditions take place November 30th through December 1st right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So click the link below or go to Hype Plus TV /talent search. Hope to see you in a chair near me. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.